Hello, my name is Breeana Gil, and I'm going to be presenting Iceland, a geologic history. I'm going to begin with an introduction to Iceland. It is a beautiful country, and it's a very hot tourist spot. It catches the eyes of tourists and geologists alike. Geologists are drawn to it because of the uniqueness of how everything was formed, and the tourists love to see the beauty of the geysers, the glaciers, the hot springs, the basalt columns, volcanoes, and waterfalls. And although many people may go to visit, only about a quarter of Iceland is livable. And the livable part is because the Gulf Stream brings hot water from the tropics and warms up the coast of Iceland. The glaciers are really cool. They cover about 10% of the whole island. I have a picture right there of the fourth largest glacier. And what's really cool about that one is it has an active volcano that made its home in there. And I can see why it's called the land of ice and fire, because they just coexist together. It's really cool. Which leads me to the volcanoes. Volcanoes are responsible for creating such beauties such as the geysers, the basalt columns, and hot springs. There are 130 total volcanic systems in Iceland, but only 30 are active. These volcanoes were actually used by the hotspot underneath, pushing magma up and creating new continent. They usually run along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and they push the basaltic magma, and they do that to fill the holes that were left when the continental plates move apart. Which brings me to continental plates. In the diagram, you can see the North American plate and the Eurasian plate moving apart. They diverge at about 1 inch per year, and they separate at the Mid-Atlantic Ridge that runs straight through Iceland, which that's quite unique. Iceland began when the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and the hotspot formed to the hotspot started forming volcanoes at the Mid-Atlantic Ridge because the Mid-Atlantic Ridge opened spots so that the hotspot could push the magma through. And this happened about 20 million years ago in the Tertiary and the Quaternary geologic time periods. The West Fjords are really cool because their oldest rocks date back to 16 million years ago. And since the continental plates have pushed it away from the hotspot, the volcanoes are no longer active, and the underground has cooled off, so they no longer have any geothermal heating coming from the underground. And you can tell that that's older because the continental plates are pushing it away. And so that's what I think the future of Iceland will be like, because the continental plates are going to keep pushing the continent away from the hotspot and forming new volcanoes. And while the older ones that are farther away from the hotspot cool off and are calmer and aren't so dangerous to live around. The new volcanoes that are the new spots from where the continental plates are pushing apart, are forming new continent, and it's growing and expanding by 2 centimeters per year. And even though that's slower than the continental plates are splitting apart, I believe that Iceland will continue to grow and expand, and hopefully we'll be here for a very long time. Thank you so much.